All right. Welcome to the Wellness Tea Podcast, where we discuss the health and wellness of Black women and women of color. I'm your host, Amber Majestic, and I'm also an integrative nutrition health coach. And I would like to welcome our guest, Dekontee. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. I am Dekontee to play. You know, good times.
Tell me a little about yourself, what you do.
Oh, yes. So I am an actor and a content creator. I'm in Los Angeles. I do a lot of musical theater based content. And I don't know. I love acting and singing and dancing. And that's kind of how I like to spend my time, to be honest, as an artist. So,
yeah. Nice. And then, like most of my guests I've had already, I've known them from either middle school, high school, college. Me and Dekontee went to college together.
Yes, college.
What a time. College.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, because I've had Heidi Lepe on here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Cassini. I think those are the only two people from Vanguard so far. The other people I've known from like middle school or high school. But yeah,
Cool.
kind of making my rounds. Yes.
I know. Like a little reunion online.
Yeah, I know. That's the nice part about it. Like some of these people I haven't talked to in a really long time are like, so it's nice to have like a little catch up with them. And then, I'll go ahead with our first question. What does health mean to you?
Health, what does it mean to me? I think it's so many things, but I think ideally I feel like health is like not just like the food that you eat, but also like your environment and also like, you know, sleeping, your mental health, all those come together to like create health. So I think like, I feel like if one part of my life is kind of like, then my health is not going to be great. Like if my schedule's crazy and I feel super stressed and like, I'm not going to eat well, I'm not going to exercise, I'm not going to drink water. Like I'm just going to, be so stressed. But if I'm like, wow, I'm really calm this season, like everything just falls into place. So I think, health is like a puzzle. I feel like it's of all those different things.
It's like you got to find a balance a lot of times like, for your health. If one thing's like out of whack, like everything else is like out of whack as well.
Oof, for real.
Because one affects the other, it gets crazy.
That's true.
And then the next question is, what does wellness mean to you? Does that look different for you than health? Like, would you define those two differently? And what does that look like for you?
Wellness. I think wellness, I like to think of it as just like all the things that make you happy inside and out. I think. Like, if I'm doing, like, you know, if I'm doing a show, that can be a form of wellness. The actual doing the show, not the stressful, like the pre-show.
Not everything leading up to
not
the
everything
show.
else. That's not health. That's not wellness. But like when you're actually doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting, so happy. Or you know, doing a cool yoga stretch or taking a fun class, like you've been painting, pottery, whatever it is. Like those things are wellness, I think. Or like just like those moments you just take care of yourself. You know, like oh, I got my nails done. Oh, I got a massage. Oh, I got like my hair done. I washed my hair. I feel like all of those things are wellness. And I don't know if that's the actual definition, but that's kind of how I see it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that it's different. For, like everyone kind of answers this question a little differently, which is why I love to ask it. Same with the health question. Everyone thinks of them differently, but I would say like wellness is like to me in a sense, like what someone will call like holistic health or our like whole body, whole person. Like your wellness is more than just like your physical health. It's your mental, emotional, spiritual like health, because they all kind of play that role. Some people say that wellness is when they're all in balance, or like that kind of looks different. Or some people think some people's view wellness is more of like their mental health. Like it kind of looks different for everyone.
That's interesting though.
Yeah. Yeah. I always ask that because, I ask both questions because people always say like health and wellness. So like for some people that's different. Some people it's the same, but it's always like an and thing. Like it's health and wellness. They're not like usually like separate.
That's kind of, that makes sense. Cause like they'll have like health and wellness centers or health and wellness like clubs or whatever. And so like they like help with like everything all together.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's interesting. I like that.
Yes. So how do you show up for yourself in like the space of health and wellness? Like, what are some things you do to take care of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Do you take care of yourself?
I am struggling because the season of my life is so hard. I just feel like I have no time. But what I've learned is I got this new job. It's kind of stressful. It's like super fun, but also like there's just like deadlines. Like any job with deadlines is going to be a little bit stressful. But I think what has helped me kind of take care of myself, because I can get so wrapped up in like trying to get the finished product that I forget to like take care of myself. Is like really like making sure that I have a list of things to do and doing that list. And also being like, at this time, even if I'm not done with the list, I am off the clock. No matter what. Because I work from home and all that stuff. So just saying, like, I'm off the clock. Make a new list for tomorrow. Anything you did not finish is like the top of your priority that day. And that's it. Like, you know, or like just making sure that I go outside. Like, yes, I go outside sometimes to film stuff and like to like, you know, go get the mail or whatever, get girls to get food. But
that's
just like,
what
go
I
outside,
do.
I'm like, oh, I went outside today. Wow. But like go outside and like walk around, go to the park, eat at a cafe, maybe bring your laptop to a place with an outdoor seating. Like I live in California. So like, why not use that? And just making sure that I like just take time to breathe, drink water, take care of yourself. That's how I take care of myself. I tell myself, take care of yourself, self. Do that.
To-do list. Yes.
Yeah.
I was laughing when you said like go to the mail, because that's like what I do to get outside every day, like religiously. My last break's at 4:00. I'm gonna go check the mail.
That's really it. I'm like, oh, break time. It's time to check the mail. I'm like my neighbor's house. I'm like, hey.
Every day at 4:00 on my break, I go check the mail. Because I work from home as well, and that's like my way of getting out of the house every day. A little cute, little 5-minute walk to go get the mail.
Yeah, it's cute. I do take the elevator though, so I don't think I would do that much wellness. I take the elevator down. I walk the hallway back. I have an outdoor building, so I walk outside and I'm like, wow, that's it. I don't know if that's wellness, but we take it. It's like a win's a win.
It's a quick little change of scenery, like change of space.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's important too. Like when you work from home, or like switching up the space, because you look at the same 4 walls while you work, and then when you get off work, like you're in the same space.
That's really hard. I try to create like a like in my room. I try to create like a barrier between it. Like I have my sleeping side, which has like green fake leaves on the. I don't know, I have some real plants. I have one real plant or two, and then green, like green and like natural, and just, like, on that side. And then the other side has like creative stuff, so it has like paintings and it's bright colors and like this big old bright chair. And wait, did you hear that? Sorry. Sorry, like I had a ding happen for like a text.
You're fine.
But like it's hard because sometimes I'll be like on my laptop in my bed. I'm like, no. I tell myself like, don't do that, or else you're gonna mix it all together. And sometimes it's inevitable because of the job that I do. Because like sometimes they're like feel yourself getting out of bed, and you're like, now my bed's in the office. Now I can't separate it because I have to film it. But just kind of figuring out ways to separate it, and like, you know, like going out, like even bringing my laptop to my balcony, I guess, like it's a way to switch it up to kind of like have something. But I don't know how people do it every day. But I mean, I do it every day, but like I don't know how people have done it for years.
I think it's going to be like and in a way, like a new normal, because I feel like a lot of jobs are either going like hybrid or like fully working from home now since like the pandemic. And it's like a true balancing act, like to be like, oh, this is just work. And then I feel like it's even like harder, like you were saying, like setting, like you're like, I'm off at this time, like no matter what. I think that's something that's really can be really hard for people when you work from home, because it's not like, oh, I gotta leave the office and get home. Like your home is your office, and you could, if you truly wanted to, like work as late like as you wanted or as you needed. And so like I love that you give yourself like a hard stop, like this is when I'm done, because you could really like kind of fall into just like working 24/7.
That's not healthy. And it doesn't
Not
feel like,
healthy at all.
I feel like I've had those like days where I was like, I'm just gonna go, and then I like didn't get more things done. Like I didn't, and they weren't better quality. So I'm like, I might as well get off earlier and sleep. Like do better quality work the next day.
Yeah, just sleep.
So,
yeah. I do have this isn't on the thing, but this question kind of came. How do you balance like having like a self-care or like sleeping and stuff? Because I know, especially like in the middle of doing a show or preparing for a show, especially as you get closer, sleep is not a thing. You work late hours, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Like, how do you kind of balance all of that for yourself as an actor when you're doing shows?
It's hard. I think the big thing is like, no matter what, like sleeping is going to be like priority. So like not going out and hanging out with everyone. Like I love when I'm in a show, I love my cast. I love all of them. The thing is like, if we're off at midnight, I'm in the car at 12:05. Like we are going home. No, like, let's go get drinks afterward. I said, no, we're not getting drinks. Like, we have to sing again tomorrow. Like, you don't get it. I used to, when I was younger, not care and just be like, let's go hang out and let's go, like, you have so much energy. Let's stay up. But now I'm like, no, this is like legit my job. I need my voice to be good and like my body to not fall apart. So that, and then also like making sure that I bring lunches that are good, because a lot of times during those seasons, like people eat horribly. Like, even if I eat out, I make sure I'm like, I'm going to go to Tender Greens, or I'm going to go to, like, Sweet Greens. All the greens. All those green places.
All the green places.
All the green, like Tender Greens,
all the green places.
I'm going to go to a place like that if I'm going to eat out, or I'm going to, like, I have a meal prep from every table, and I get that. And so, like, that kind of eating helps a lot, and, like, making sure I'm hydrated. And, like, you know, things like coffee and stuff, and, like, alcohol dry out your voice, and, like, you can't really sleep. So, doing that, and just having that discipline of being, like, no, because it gets bad. Like, I saw some people hanging out. I said, we have a show. We have rehearsal at noon tomorrow, and you're up to 1 a.m. I see you're still online. I'm online too, but you're online.
I'm in bed online.
I'm in bed online. Y'all are live together. So just kind of making sure that I'm like, even if it makes you feel old, like you have your closing night party, opening night party, like those celebrations happen. And that's when you can let loose. Closing night, when you're done with your contract. But when you're in it, I'm going to bed at 10. I'm going to bed directly after the show. I'm driving my butt home,
like
taking the train. Like, best of luck. I think in college we would stay. I didn't know how we stayed up in college. Like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, how did we stay up and write these papers? Get up early, go to the chapel. I said, there's no way. Like, there's no way I would do that again. Like, no, do not give me any more. I wanted another degree, and then I was like, I have to do it. I have to do it. Ooh, no.
There's like this meme I saw it the other day, and it was like, this can't be the same 9 p.m. that I used to start getting ready to go out at. Like,
not. I mean, I remember I'd be in rehearsal. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm like this. Like, trying to stay awake with sheet music in my head like this. And I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. Like, we're sitting here learning how to sing this song, and I'm falling asleep. Like, this is... Back in the day, I would have been like, let's get ready. Let's stay up. I have to do my homework after this. Like, not anymore. You cannot catch me.
Sleep.
No. Sleep. I don't know I really don't know how we did it. Like, and then 8 a.m. classes. Could not. I get up at 7 and I'm still in bed until 7:30.
No.
I could not get up, put clothes on, go to a class. Do that, go to breakfast, go to another class, shower, to another class. Then I had rehearsals, and I got off. I did more homework. Oh my gosh, I was so insane.
Yeah, and then crazy. You were an RA. You're crazy.
That was a mistake. I had a lot of fun, but I was like...
You were a freshman dorm RA.
I was like, these girls have too much energy. I said, don't come to my room unless you knock on this emergency, please. I'm too old at 21. Like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah. I was freshman dorm RA.
That was really chaotic. Why did I do that? No one said to do it, but people did tell me not to do that. But I did it anyways.
I feel like it was always like, almost in a sense, like one like if you're a biology major, like why do that to yourself? Which I was. And like theater, because you do like so much of your time is like dedicated like to that, and it's like how are you gonna find time to like be with your floor? Like,
I mean, I didn't perform, I don't think, that year. Yeah.
You didn't?
I didn't. I only performed theater chapel, and I think the end of the year I did my project, and I did like helping out, and I did classes. But I was a senior. I was like, it doesn't even matter me doing these shows. Like, they did Legally Blonde. I was like, eh. So I didn't, I didn't really. When I look back at it, I didn't miss much other than sleep. That was it.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I still have the same career, whether or not like my career looks pretty similar to everyone else who
is doing it.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So another question for also, this is not on there, but thought about, because my freshman year, and the same year that Kylie was a RA in Laguna, we were second floor was, as we were lovingly called, Baby Compton. But when you went RA, you got all of you guys, your floor became kind of like Baby Compton because they had all of how'd you feel about like that?
It was really weird. I remember like talking to somebody. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember. I cannot remember. I don't remember. But they were saying something along the lines of like these floors are randomly chosen. Like, these are random.
Yeah, or they're based off but I know they're saying, because you fill out the questionnaire, like to find your roommate, but then it's like, how did we end up with like
every black girl,
every black freshman?
I said, what is this? And then I was like kind of confused. And then I was like, I feel like it's on purpose, but whatever. But I do think like it was really one of those things where a lot of people were very ignorant. Like, they didn't realize what they were saying. Like, what they're, especially because like I remember some of the girls coming up to me just like really sad because people would treat them really like they were scared of them. Yeah. Because of things that they heard about them rather than just getting to know them. And like in my head, it made me very sad because I was just like, y'all, like, that's not who they are at all. Like, and I think having that kind of like energy where people were like, yeah, we're we love all people, but then like be really weird towards like a group of black women because you've heard things about them that like aren't necessarily true because you're scared of what you think they are like. It's just doesn't mean that you love all people. It's weird. I always felt like, I think at the time, when I started to see it, I was like, this is not okay. Like, they're treating them so poorly. Like, and like they put on like a tough exterior because of the things that they've been through, some of the girls. But like, still, they're just here to have a good time, have fun in college. They're here to learn. They're doing their homework. They turn them in. They pass their classes. Like, they're doing their thing. Yeah. They're paying tuition or whatever. But but it was just one of those things where I was just like, wow, I realized like a lot of people in like our school were very ignorant and didn't realize it and like just did not. Just.
But I think I think also, and I don't know for you, like, I know that a lot of the people that I met, like, say, like, freshman year, I was probably one of the first Black people they actually ever really had a conversation with. You know what I mean? Like, which is, like, intense. Weird. Yeah. I don't know if that was for you, too. Like, if some of the people you met your freshman year, like, sometimes you don't know, like, straight up, but sometimes it's just, like, the way that they talk. You're like, you've never had a conversation with a Black person before.
That's true. Oh, I think so. At the time, I was in the sunken place. So I would not have noticed. I was in the sunken place. I wasn't like Candace Owens. I was Michelle Obama in the sunken place. But I wouldn't have noticed. I would have been like, oh, whatever. But I think, as I went on, I think, especially with the freshmen, some of the freshmen that I met, some of them, that I think towards the end of the school years, I was like, y'all don't know what Black, you never talk to a Black person other than the ones that you went to help out in a different country. Okay.
Country?
You got your little trip. That's what you meant. I was like, that's so interesting because that kind of shapes how they view and treat people. Even if it's nice, like, you still kind of get that vibe of like, they think they're like, they know more, better, all of this stuff than you are. And you're like, dude, you're not. I have better grades. Like, I learned the highest grade class. What are you talking about? So.
I would think I would notice it when, like, and I also get that for me, and I think I knew this kind of before college, but I always knew for me, a lot of times my experience with other people may be different, say, than your experience with other people, because I have some privilege with how light my skin is, my hair texture, like, and I think sometimes people just don't like, I notice that I maybe not have experienced a lot of other things that other people have because of that, because I am passing for a lot of people. Like, you know what I mean? Especially with like the way that I talk and stuff, like I am more comfortable. My blackness is a little more palatable for some people. Than other people.
That's true.
But like, but I would get things from like people of, oh, well, not you. Like, they say something about a Black person, that can be like, oh, but not you. Like, you're different. And you're like, how is that? How am I different? Like
that's so,
you know what I mean? It's like, is it different because you know me? Like, or like, am I just challenging your stereotype of what you think Black people are? Like,
people are
You know what I mean? You're like,
I mean, it was Orange County.
Yes, it was Orange County, and a white school, probably white Christian school. So,
and it's weird because you think about that. I'm like, ew, like the microaggressions. I probably missed so many of them. I probably was just trying to get my education and trying to balance. Like, I just was really. I think,
and I know I reached out to you like during everything with like George Floyd, because it kind of brought back when we were in Huntington Beach that day.
I remember that day.
And
what a crazy man.
Yes, I didn't even see the man. I just heard him yelling at us, and I was like, "It's time to go.
It's time to go. We are in Huntington Beach, California.
We were like, it's
out of here.
To go."
Bouncing.
Yeah.
But I think, that was a weird experience. One of those experiences that I think about, like, randomly, you know, and it was unprovoked. We were chilling.
We're literally standing in the parking lot.
I'm like
getting ready to leave.
Yeah, we're not even. We have on casual clothing. We go to a Christian university.
Yeah. We went to see a movie. I don't even remember.
Something very like a normal. What 20-year-olds do. No, we were loud. Like, there was nothing to say anything to us other than what we looked like. Like, it was so odd. And like, I was unprovoked. I said, "Sir, what is
that's
this
the first." Right? That's the first time I've ever experienced anything like that.
Yeah,
like
I mean, not that direct. Yeah.
Yeah, like to just blatantly just yell out, calling us the N-word and that we don't belong there. Like, it was like, whoa.
Whoa. Well, let me leave then. Like,
you're like, this is not safe. This could turn real bad.
Yeah, especially if we're not doing anything. Like, if they checked our bags, we would have Bibles. Like, that is how unprovoked it was.
Right.
I would have homework in my backpack. Like, sir.
Yeah. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, I don't know how, like, and like, I'm not sure. I think I've been there a few times, like, since then, but like, I've never like hung out really like that since then. Like,
I don't really go. When I hear something in Huntington Beach, I say, that's the left. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I don't care. I went to the US Open one time. There was a riot.
Yeah.
And there were no people of color really there. So that was not a riot from our people. Yeah. That was a riot from other people. And I said, Huntington Beach is just not for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, I don't have, I'll stay to Manhattan Beach, which is still kind of, it's okay. It's better, but it's okay. It's better now. They gave part of the land back to the over there.
Yeah.
So that's really great. I want to see that.
Yeah, I've been back to Huntington Beach. I had a friend that was there for like her birthday weekend, and I like went out to eat. But I have not been to like that mall, the outdoor mall thing, in like a very long time. Like, Yeah.
Yeah, it's too far.
Yeah. I'm like, like too far, but I'm like, I don't need to.
I don't
want
want to. It's not worth it. I'll stay Long Beach, Seal Beach. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like that place. And I remember telling someone that I have a friend that's they're a mixed race couple, and they were talking about when they were looking at buying houses, they were talking about moving to Huntington Beach, and I was like, I don't know, like, and I shared that story with them, and they're like, we're not moving there. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if you'll like being in Huntington Beach. And I'm like, that's the only thing that's happened to me. But I was like, but I've heard other stories about Huntington Beach.
It's really bad.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if you guys want to live there. And she was like, that's all I need to know. Like,
yeah.
Huntington Beach is off the list.
Ow. I mean, it's not like saying other parts are the other parts are just a little bit less in your face, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, in Huntington Beach is very like blatant, like racism you can find there. And then my last question, why do you think health and wellness is essential for our community? Like Black community, Black women.
I feel like it's essential because of all of the generational trauma. And like I am first generation American in America, but like the trauma is like so intense. Like immigrant people have trauma.
Yeah.
And also African Americans in America have trauma.
Yeah.
So it's like on top of that, we all come to this country, we exist, and then we get like in our own lifetime trauma. So it's like doubled over. And I think it's just essential for us to become healthy because like a lot of the stuff that we have, the stresses and all the things that we have to think about, like really actually affect our health a lot. Like things like heart attacks and strokes and you know, just little like things like that where you're like, you know, people are dying younger because of the things that they're going through. And also like, you know, things like food deserts and all that stuff. It's long. Yeah. But I think finding ways to do that help our health and help us live long, prosperous lives. And I think like, I don't know, this lady, she's a therapist and she was talking about just like, you know, a solution for the Black community, which was like therapy on TikTok. And people reamed her for it and she lost her job. And in my head, I was like, but don't we want to get healthy? But don't we want to get better? Like that's obviously mental health, but like, don't we want to get better with food wise? Don't we want to? And I think people want to, but like the actual work to get there is really hard and expensive and like all that stuff. But I think it's like essential. I think like us as Black people just need to find ways either on our own or help each other find inexpensive ways to do it, because sometimes health and wellness is like marketed to just rich people. So it's like, you know, having a place where Black people can just be like eating good food and having a place to exercise that's safe for the kids to have places where they can like learn and you know, learn in an environment not only safe but also like a place that's not going to be racist towards them, that could actually like give them good education and stuff. It's important. So I think, I don't know, it can help us grow. I think it's so important.
Yeah. So. Agreed. I think we're like finally kind of getting to a place as like a community where like some of these things are actually important to us, like especially like mental health, like therapy, like things like that. Those things have been extremely taboo in our communities. We grew up in a pray it away type of just give it to Jesus and he'll just
God. Like, and also go to therapy.
But also I think like sometimes like it's like we pray to God absolutely about taking like helping you deal with something, but sometimes it's not going to be in a miracle way. It's a practical, like, you're praying for ways to help your mental illness, but here's therapy. Like, you know what I mean?
It's interesting.
Like,
and sometimes when people are like, God, please heal me from this sickness, and you're like, God's like, here's a specialist doctor.
Like,
and you're like, no, God, heal me. He's like, literally a doctor.
Like, that's what they're here for. Like,
you have health insurance too? Crazy. It's like, no, I just want you to heal me. He's like, I literally need you a doctor. Like, what is that?
Yeah, like it's literally like, and I always get to think back to like is what like in James, like faith without works is dead. Like, yes, you're gonna have faith that you're gonna be healed, but it's not your faith to just sit there and like wait for God to do it. Like, are you seeking help from someone? Like, are you taking is it your dogs?
No, my neighbor's dog. He's always so mad.
As mine is literally just laying behind my chair.
What a lovely dog.
That's all she does.
I love dogs like that.
I mean, if she sees someone, she like barks, but she has like separation anxiety, so like she can't really see in our bedroom, can't really see anything, so she like hangs out behind my. Yeah, she like needs to know where we are at all times. Yes. But yeah, I feel like we like forget that like we have some work involved too. Like God is not going to answer prayers without us doing our part, type of thing. Yeah. And I don't know why I sometimes like I can, and I part of me gets like, especially in the Black community, why people don't like going to the doctor, because we've been used for experiments without being told, you know, types of things. So there's like a trust factor. Yeah. Like in that, like, or like in general, like that trust factor, or like for someone like me, I've been misdiagnosed, and it's like, how much trust can you have in like the healthcare system? Because like everything else, there's those systematic issues when it comes to race. And so, which is why, which I love to see also more Black people are becoming doctors and like specialists and things like that. And so it's like, it's not just like, oh, get up and go to the doctor, but it's like, are the systems changing enough for them to trust? Or they have a trusted doctor? Like, it's so like, it's more than like one-sided of just like, get up and go to the doctor. You can go to the doctor and they can still misdiagnose you. Yeah. Like,
or just not help you.
Not help you at all. Or, you know what I mean? Like there's also like that whole thing of, for Black people, especially Black women, it is like a lot of times documented in textbooks that we have a higher pain tolerance. Like we don't feel pain. And so like some doctors don't believe how much pain we're actually in when we say we're in pain. Yeah. Like that's what happened with, was it with Serena when she was pregnant? Yeah. They didn't believe her and that something was wrong, and until she was like, she made a big deal and she almost died from like childbirth. And so it's like, we're supposed to go to these doctors, but then they don't hear us. What's the point? Like,
yeah, that's real.
Like what? So or why spend all this money to go to the doctor and like,
when it's not going to matter?
It's not going to matter. I'm not going to be heard. Like,
yeah. And there's a lot of people who are out there educating people on how to talk to their doctor. I always feel sad that we even have to make people have to make TikToks on how to talk to the doctor.
To doctors.
Like, it's just like, you went to this school for so long and you're not helping people. Like, I don't understand what was the point of that. And I know, like, also within that, the system is really bad. So they're like, I can't actually do that thing that I need to do for you because of X, Y, Z thing. But to those doctors who say crazy stuff, you're like, it's like, oh, you probably just need to take a little nap. That's all. You're like, if I need to take a nap, I would have just taken a nap. I could we could have had a telecare.
No. Or even like there's still like things like, I don't know if you saw like the documentary on Hulu, the Aftershock on like the Black maternal health. So like one of the things they talk about, well, it like follows these two men who lost their wives in childbirth, either during childbirth or right after, like in their postpartum, and how like it could have been like they could have been prevented. But they're two Black women. So they talk about how like it could have been prevented for them. If the doctors just listened, pretty much. Like if the doctors took better care of them. But one of the things they talk about is, so like there's a formula they use to decide whether or not whether a C-section or a vaginal birth is safer for a woman. That part of that equation, that number increases like a woman. So like they put in, you answer these questions, it's like age, something else, and then one of them is actually race. And if you put that the patient is black for it automatically changes that like their race is part of that percentage and makes it so that essentially that Black women have less vaginal births. The percentage tells them it's safer for them to have C-sections than like vaginal birth just by your race, just by being Black. And it's like,
That's
how
wild.
how would race play a role in that? Like,
yeah,
like there's no reason
That's
race
wild.
should there's no reason race should play a role in whether or not you have. And so like some Black women have to sometimes fight harder just to have a vaginal birth. Their doctors simply based on that will push like a C-section, which is
my
harder.
mom had two C-sections. They said she was too small because she's 5'1". But she said she was too small, she couldn't do it. But like still, like she didn't even have an option, obviously. But like
Mm-hmm. But like and so then it's like some doctors don't like, essentially kind of like with your mom, like don't give option, like they just pretty much tell someone based on that, like vaginal birth is not an option for you, like it's safer for a C-section simply because of their like race, which I think is like little things like that is like, you can't tell me there's not a systemic problem. Like,
and also where do you get your numbers from? Like it should just be based on my health, height, weight, whatever, age or whatever. Not based off of what I look like. Is it because I could take more pain?
Yeah.
I don't want to see some.
The recovery is harder for you.
Yeah.
Recovery is longer. Like, so it's easier. It's generally easier on the woman and the child to like, and the baby to be vaginally born. But C-sections are quicker.
Oof.
And they're quicker. They do also require a longer hospital stay. And so a lot of times they actually make something else they talk about in there is that hospitals make more money off of C-sections than they do vaginal births. The insurances pay more for the C-sections than like vaginal birth. And so it's like this weird like systemic thing with race as well as like money, and it's like
that's really gross.
Crazy. Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, very disgusting. Yeah, no, I know. I watched it and like I know that I have to check myself to make sure that I'm healthy enough to do it, but I was like, I don't want to give birth in a hospital. I like want to do like a birthing center or something, but those are also expensive because insurance don't cover it. But
I want like a healthier. I was like thinking about that. I was like, I don't know if I want to do a hospital. I do want to do it in a way that's the closest to the natural way that the baby comes out, like squatting.
Yeah,
in a pool of water.
Yeah, well, like even like that's the thing. That's the one thing they do. Like they talk about they kind of follow a woman that chooses to do it at like a birthing center, and they kind of like let you do what you feel. Is that walking around? Like you're like do a little walk around with you and like a thing over your belly to monitor you and the baby to make sure you're safe. But you can walk around, you can squat, you can sit in the pool. Like you can just kind of do what feels good for your body than just laying in a hospital bed.
Because that is, every time I see that, I'm like, that just feels like that's not the way that.
Yeah.
That does not feel right.
Right. But that's not how they've done it either until recently, until it kind of became like and that's another thing they talk about, how birthing was probably like when women gave birth, they're predominantly surrounded by midwives and like doulas. And then when it became like a more like, they wouldn't do it more in hospitals, like doctors kind of took over that. It became like laying in a bed, having nurses by you instead of like midwives and like doulas and like, yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Crazy.
I like that.
No, I don't like it either.
I feel like it's just a little too, I'm just like towards the age where it's like, I'm not engaged or anything. So I'm like in that place where I'm like, I'm going to be older when I have my child. So
yeah. And then like if you're over 30, they call you old to have kids. They call you geriatric.
I know, which I heard is actually not true.
And it's like, Excuse me.
I heard that's actually not true.
Yeah.
I'm like, you probably should do it later, but no.
I'm like, I don't know how I feel about being told at 30 I'm geriatric.
It's like, geriatric pregnancy who?
Right?
You geriatric doctor my butt. That's what you are, geriatric.
You know what I mean? Like, especially because, like, I'm not going to be married until I'm 31, almost 32. So November 2023. And so I'll be 31. And then, like, we're going to try to have, and then my birthday's like that following March. I'm going to be like 32, 33, like giving birth to a child. And I'm like, I don't want to be called geriatric.
I said, just say yes or no. Can I have my baby here? That's it.
Don't want it to be called a geriatric pregnancy. Like,
okay. Oh, ma'am. You geriatric doctor my booty.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
You know. I don't like that term.
Either.
Either. And then before we wrap up, is there anything else that's coming to mind? Any questions you have for me?
I think. Also, what made you want to start the podcast, and like, what was your inspiration to have this conversation about Black women's health? Because I think it's very, very, very important.
Yes, thank you. So my own kind of health journey kind of led me here. And it kind of helped me realize in my own health journey that we don't talk about in the Black community health and wellness much at all. It's like getting there, like it's becoming less and less taboo, you know. But I think that we don't talk about it enough. One, two, because we were just talking about, like, we're so underrepresented in the U.S. health model. But with that, because for some of my like health ailments, that's a whole other story. We'd be here forever. I went to my mom got me to go to like a naturopathic doctor, which helped me a lot more than, because it's like a lot, like from what I was experiencing, it was like I go to the doctor, and at this point it was my thyroid, and it was like, all your thyroid levels are normal, so there's nothing for me, but I'm feeling all these symptoms of my thyroid being out of whack, because I had like nodules on my thyroid, and I'm like, I'm still feeling the fatigue, the lack of appetite, like my metabolism's all over the place, I'm losing weight, like, yeah, like, okay, like I have these nodules, they're benign, they're not affecting my thyroid levels, but I don't feel well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I went to a naturopathic doctor, and the change of kind of like my diet and like things like that helped for me, like taking like a holistic approach to it helped me.
Yeah.
And so from that, it kind of inspired me to become a health coach. So I do have a health coaching certificate. I did that last year. Yeah. So that's also something I do. I do have, so this kind of sparked out of, I do health coaching, and I chose to focus on Black women and like women of color, because we're so underrepresented. I feel like it'd be nice to have for Black women to talk to someone else outside of their, like going to the doctor and things like that. Because I think, again, that's kind of like that one side of health. That's like your physical health. A lot of those things don't focus on like how those things affect the rest of your body, or like, or vice versa. Like some of the other things, like you may be physically sick, but some of that things are like your fatigue and stuff, maybe because you're mentally drained. Like they all kind of play this like balancing act. And then, also, I think that, or others, why for the podcast at least, it's even though we're kind of from the same community of Black women of color, we're not a monolith. We're going to view all these things differently. So I thought it'd be a nice space to talk to different people from different backgrounds, to kind of like hear like how they feel about these things, and because I think it's. So because the conversation's so taboo in our communities, like I think by talking to other different people, the Black women who are listening can maybe hear themselves in someone that I'm speaking with, and kind of like that type of thing. So That's kind of why. That's why I've talked to like different people, different backgrounds. Yeah, different
That's
backgrounds.
cool.
Thank
That's
you.
really cool. I love that.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Well, if that is it, I want to thank you again, Dekontee, for joining me. And then I want to thank the listeners for listening. And if I will, in the comment section, I'll have like my website, ways to reach me if you're interested in any coaching or any of my programs. And can't wait for you guys to listen next time. Then let me